Life is a journey painted with countless colors. Each step we take draws invisible boundaries, lines between joy and sorrow, between beginnings and endings, between light and shadow. We cross these boundaries every single day, often without even noticing. Sometimes these fragile lines leave us suspended between reality and dreams. Tears fall not only from pain, but also from joy overflowing, like a rushing stream breaking through the crevices between mountain cliffs. Natural and unpretentious, every meeting and every parting leaves silent imprints on our hearts. These marks are the boundary between past and present, intertwined in our memories, reminding us of what once was, of the people we once loved, and of the dreams still left unfinished. Everyday moments, a tight embrace or words of love left unsaid, reveal to us those boundaries between what we have and what we've lost, between simple happiness and far-reaching ideals. Each person must face challenges and make choices between staying true to themselves and changing with the flow of time. These boundaries not only shape the paths we walk, but also help us realize the true meaning of life. In those blurry moments, we find strength and deep purpose, so that each passing day becomes more than mere existence. It becomes a life lived to the fullest, wholehearted and meaningful. Ethics of Life warmly greets you. If you are tired, if you feel like giving up, take a step toward these 3 boundaries. Stand there, look, and feel. You will begin to see how much precious value you are already holding in your hands. The street at 4:30 a.m., the boundary between night and day. At 4:30 in the morning, most people are still deep in sleep, nestled in warmth and comfort, dreaming about their goals and the joys of life. But step outside at that exact time, when the city begins its quiet transition from night to day, and you'll discover a completely different world. Truck drivers are already on the move, loading heavy crates onto vehicles in preparation for another long and tireless journey. Street vendors, elderly women and men, are diligently pushing their food carts through narrow alleyways, committed to their work and the rhythm of survival. Some return after many hours of night-long trading, while others begin tirelessly preparing for a new day. When we see tired doctors just finishing surgeries that last for dozens of hours, dragging their heavy steps as they get on a vehicle to go home, or when sanitation workers keep tirelessly polishing every corner of the streets, only then, standing on the streets at 4:30 in the morning, do we realize that the adult world has never been easy. Even if it's just a second or a minute, this is not a time for complaints or giving up out of boredom while sitting in an air-conditioned room, facing repetitive tasks every day. Instead, it is a time for motivation and perseverance to make a living and to succeed. At the airport, the boundary opening the world. None of us are strangers to airports, even if we have never been there. The image of airports is always filled with well-dressed people beautifully made up, carrying fully packed suitcases, and wearing confident smiles on their faces. They enjoy the best privileges to travel across the world. Compared to that image, at train stations, countless passengers pile their luggage in large and small bundles, crammed tightly into narrow train compartments full of both people and belongings. There's just enough room for a small space to store things, squeezed together with those around them, unable to sleep and restless in their seats. There is a saying, if your child doesn't want to study, take them to airports and train stations to watch carefully and see which path they will choose for their future. Airports and trains both represent journeys to reach out to the vast world beyond. But if you don't work hard, even a regular ticket on the cheapest train is out of reach. You will be stuck standing in your own small spot. Remember that life is an endless journey, but with limited time. The more resources and strength you have to travel farther and longer at the same time, the more achievements you can harvest. Hospitals. Hospitals are places many people do not want to mention or visit, but they are places we must go when necessary. They can save a family but can also drain all their savings. Only those who truly enter the dangerous threshold, facing death, can understand the hospital walls, witnessing countless prayers in hardship and tears. A family is heartbroken upon receiving a cancer diagnosis but breathes a sigh of relief when the doctor announces it's only an early-stage disease. If surgery is done immediately, the patient still has a very high chance of cure. However, when the hospital announces the total cost of surgery and hospitalization, along with the medication for the entire treatment phase, the patient's family suddenly falls into long silence. After a while, they quietly say, "Doctor, please give us fewer medicines. We will take him home to care for him first. Whatever dietary restrictions there are, we will try to follow them strictly." This is the helplessness and despair many hospitals witness because the family's financial situation cannot cover the expensive treatment costs. Instead of selling their house or belongings, they give up their entire fortune for treatment without certainty of long-term survival. They endure pain and sickness to lessen the burden on their family in the future. This reflects the harshest nature between fate and money, between life and death. Only when you witness the harsh truth behind hospital walls will you realize that money's value can be as light as a feather, but also as heavy as a mountain. Can you still avoid facing your own work and responsibilities? Crossing boundaries. I really like a saying by the writer Nguyen Khai. Life has no limits, only boundaries. The question is whether we have enough courage to step across those boundaries. When we talk about boundaries, you might immediately think of difficulties and challenges in life, but I want to focus on something very small within the infinite series of boundaries in a person's life, the endless illusions. Sometimes we get lost chasing illusions and lose our way. At the very beginning, we wander off into new boundaries, overlooking the true values close at hand. Do you remember the faint streaks of light on the bus window when it rains? Everyone stares at the glass, touching the colorful raindrops on the window. But few realize that if you wipe the water away, you'll see all kinds of chaotic, dazzling lights that hurt your eyes if you stare too long. That's why we should let everything be true to its nature. Don't embellish it with distorted lenses or endless fantasies. Only when we step beyond illusions do the real boundaries of life truly begin. So how do we avoid getting lost in illusions? The answer is to keep moving forward and get used to stumbling, no matter how painful it is, even if sometimes it feels like you've fallen and can't get back up. But remember, through those breaking points, we grow and become tougher than ever. Like iron forged into steel, like coral reefs enduring raging waves. See life as a paramedic standing between the boundaries of life and death. Regard health as your true wealth, and use words as your weapon. Live today as if it were your last day. Life is a school where the hardest, longest, yet most rewarding lesson is how to live well. Life is constant learning. Though these may sound like reminders we've heard too often, we still need to hear them again. Health is wealth. We were once called by a gentleman to a beautiful house right by the sea. Under a blue sky, it looked like a villa in Italy, a lovely sailboat docked at the harbor. Everything was neat, tidy, and refined. On the way to the hospital with the patient, I complimented his beautiful home. Then the man burst into tears. I devoted my whole life to get these things, but now I am too weak to enjoy them. I tried to comfort him, though deep down I couldn't deny his words. This man had lost the ability to walk or take care of himself, let alone sail out to sea again. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, the first wealth is health. If you can get out of bed by yourself, dress yourself, have breakfast, and enjoy each day without help, you are rich. If you can see the faces of your loved ones, hear their voices, and hold them in your arms, you possess an invaluable treasure. Health is a treasure that the young often take for granted, while the elderly are willing to spend a fortune to regain. What use are money, fame, and comforts if you are too weak to enjoy them? Even money has its limits, but health is something that money cannot always buy. However, many of us are willing to trade our health to get rich. The wealthy spend huge sums of money to regain health, while we give up our health to earn millions. You need to treat health as a form of wealth. Every day, deposit a little into your health account by eating healthy, exercising, sleeping well, meditating, or doing whatever it takes to preserve this asset that has been with you since birth. Because you only have it once. In life, there are only 4 things that matter most. There was an elderly woman having a heart attack. We prepared a defibrillator pad on her chest in case her heart stopped. She knew what was happening. She understood, but still smiled a lot. "I have lived a wonderful life," she said, "a beautiful life." On the way to the hospital, we talked. She told me about her husband, with whom she had spent twice as many years as I have lived, about their happy marriage. She talked about her days as a teacher, her love for her students, and how teaching inspired her. She spoke about her children and grandchildren, about her travels, the places she visited, the journeys and challenges she faced, about the delicious cake she baked, and about the little things that moved her. Not once did she mention money or possessions. When I asked if she wished she had lived differently, she just smiled and said no. In life, money matters to some extent. However, for those nearing the end of their lives, only 4 things are most important: experiences, achievements, relationships, and contributions. These are the factors that create a passion for life. The experiences we have, the achievements we take pride in, the quality relationships, and the contributions to make the world a better place. What journey do you remember most? Which moments? Can you never forget? What achievements have you gained after overcoming hardship? Whom do you love? Who loves you? What have you given away? What legacy will you leave behind? Money is truly important. It brings experiences and opportunities, helps you contribute and achieve, but it is not mandatory to live a fulfilling life. What you must have is an open, generous heart full of love, so you can give more than you receive. Words are one of the most powerful weapons you have. Depressed patients suffer twice as much when they are alone, with no one to share with. Worse still is encountering people who don't know how to listen. Caring for patients is mostly about conversation. Communication is a vital life skill you should develop. Your words can convey so much to others: love, gratitude, ideas, hope, care, empathy, humor, information. Words have the power to inspire or destroy. It depends on your choice. Your words can pull someone out of darkness or push them further into it. Therefore, use language wisely, because words don't just change many lives, they can also save them. Don't take life lightly. We were dispatched to help a man struggling to breathe. Halfway there, we received the news that he had no signs of life. When we arrived, rescuers were performing CPR on the victim. His family stood nearby in shock. We also tried to open his airway and inject medicine, but we could not bring him back from death. That night, the poor man did not make it. He was just a little over 20 years old. It was the first time I witnessed the death of someone younger than myself. It reminded me of something every young person should remember. We are not invincible. We are not immortal. Death spares no one. The wise Seneca once said, We never know when death will come for us, so don't take life lightly, whether today or tomorrow. Life is a beautiful and delicate gift. No matter who you are, how much money you have, or how healthy you are, never take life for granted. Live fully and treat that as your priceless responsibility every day. Keep dreaming of living to 100 years old, but don't forget to enjoy life as if every day is a precious chance to live. Because one day, that will become reality. Take care of your spirit, because not every wound can be seen. I went to work, unaware that my shift would stretch from 8 to 12 hours, or that I would end up crying alone. No one can predict these things, yet they always happen. We never truly know what we're leading ourselves into, what affects us, what touches our wounds or makes us react. I found myself in that situation. At that time, I had 1001 negative thoughts and feelings that led me to make unwise decisions. I knew what was happening. I saw the signs. So I called my superior and said I needed to take a break. Mental health becomes invisible if you don't recognize the signs. We often get so caught up caring for our bodies that we neglect the mind. Meanwhile, everything starts with our thoughts. The magical tool of the heart is the spirit. Do you pay attention to it? Do you notice the warning signs? Do you actively reduce stress? Most people don't. Yet we cannot function without spirit. Mental illnesses spare no one. We must take care of our mental health to take timely action. You only have one body and one mind, and they are connected. So, do your best to care for both. Don't underestimate the power of touch. In university, a professor of biotechnology and artificial intelligence at my school once said that even though technology can and will replace many areas in healthcare, one thing will never disappear: human touch. As an EMT, I understand this very well. Many patients have asked me to hold their hands out of fear. A small gesture can make a difference. The power of touch should not be underestimated. It is one of the strongest gifts nature has given us, the very first language we learn. A gentle touch is essential for human development and maintaining healthy relationships. Studies have found that just 15 minutes of daily tactile therapy over 5 to 10 days can help premature babies gain 47% more weight than those treated conventionally. Touch signals safety, trust, love, passion, and much more. A sincere, gentle touch can reduce stress, stimulate the vagus nerve, and release oxytocin. A timely, gentle touch can make a difference in life, even if it cannot change reality or the future. One of the best medicines we have is holding hands. Everyone has their own suffering. You just can't see it. I have seen both poverty and wealth, run-down apartments and suburban mansions, beat-up Hondas and flashy Porsches. Everyone has their struggles, no matter who they are, how rich they are, how successful, or whether they have reached their goals. Remember this whenever you pass someone on the street, whenever you feel like judging, belittling, or hating someone. We are all human. We all have our own suffering. We try to be happy, but sometimes we fail. So be kind. Seek to understand others before expecting them to understand you. Life is beautiful and meaningful as long as you try to find it. In recent years, there have been moments that surprised me, and most were wonderful. You can see joy in a new mother, in an elderly couple still loving as they did when they first married. In the dawn after a night shift, in the eyes of a man sharing the story of his life, in letters expressing gratitude, in the extraordinary strength of people during difficult times, in the friendship of those who always support you, in the precious moments when others trust you. No matter the circumstance, life is always beautiful. No matter how hard it gets, life remains beautiful if you find a reason worth fighting for. Dr. Viktor Frankl, a survivor of the Holocaust, once said that the meaning of life is to give life meaning. Life is never easy, nor is it fair. It will hurt you and test you. Yet life is still beautiful and worth striving for. So keep living. Les Brown also said that you cannot be weak on the road to pursuing your dreams. Dare to overcome obstacles to find your own path. Indeed, only strength can carry us forward on life's journey. When we mature, our parents' wings grow tired. We must spread our own wings to fly far. But if you keep doubting your wings are not yet fully grown, always fearing the edges that can actually be crossed, then believe me, you are the one failing. Each of us must learn to be strong and rise in life, because that strength helps us be happier and live more meaningfully. Someone once said, happiness is not the absence of problems, but the ability to deal with them. That must be true when difficulties come from all directions. Whether objective or subjective, they always teach us many lessons. Once we overcome those hardships, surely we feel happiness from achieving results. Thus, our lives are not wasted, not useless. Those seemingly small things build us a confident mindset ready to face storms. Gradually, we mature, because maturity is built on difficulties. Experience matters more than age. As Samuel Johnson said, there is no greater pleasure in life than overcoming hardships, taking step by step towards success, setting new aspirations, and witnessing their fulfillment. Above all, no successful person has never felt stuck, discouraged, or hopeless. But they overcame it through willpower and determination, with a resilient heart and unshakable faith. That is why when you hear a successful entrepreneur talk about months of failure, family disbelief, and breakups, they always speak with respect and joy, because those struggles made them who they are today. When I hear someone complain and feel cornered by life, I often don't think that's true. It only shows weakness, lack of confidence, and resignation to life. Never blame life for being unfair and not giving you luck while giving it to others. Don't envy others' better lives, because beneath the surface may lie a huge hidden iceberg. There is always another side to the truth. I tend to like those who talk less and do more. What they show others are the results. Conversely, those who constantly blame circumstances usually achieve nothing meaningful, especially those lacking faith and resilience tend to drag others down with them. They don't want to rise but want to pull others down to lessen their feelings of inferiority and despair. That is selfishness and a very narrow-minded nature. Thank you for listening and taking the time to watch our video. We hope these shares bring value to your life. If you find it meaningful, please like and subscribe to the Ethics of Life channel. We always want to accompany you on the journey to seek true peace and happiness. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.